Hello Star Season, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. As you can tell from the title and the thumbnail, we are going to be making a wig today with green roots. It's going to be lime green and black, so stay tuned. So we're going to start out with mixing the two greens. This is going to give it that lime green UV light shine under the black light color. Starting with the frontal, we're just going to start with the roots. It doesn't matter how much green goes past the roots because we will be dyeing the ends of the hair black. So you just want to make sure that it's all saturated. You want to make sure that you're getting underneath in the back, making sure that all the roots are deeply saturated with the color, trying to avoid any getting on the lace as much as possible. Next, using some leftover hair that I've had sitting around, we're just going to color these pieces green because they're going to be added into the wig. Now I am adding the black hair color to the ends of the frontal. This is the only time I have to use the black dye is on the frontal because I will be using black tracks for the back of the wig. So all the black dye color will just be on the frontal. And I'm just going around doing sections like so until we're completely done getting the ends of the frontal. Don't mind my wig headstand. This is my color stand that I use to do all my coloring on. While the color is drying, you want to go ahead and thread your needles if you are going to be sewing your wig together. I normally use a sewing machine, but today I'm hand sewing because I'm doing something really quick and easy. As you can see here, I have the frontal sewed down. And now I'm taking some chalk and I'm going to go ahead and make my markings so I can keep my tracks in line and make sure I'm staying on track with where I'm going with the tracks. So the first two tracks to be laid down will be green, so it can get that green undertone, and that's what you'll see from behind. That's what you'll see underneath is that green layer. And as I'm going through, at this point, I'm adding another green track. Once I get to this point of the wig, as you can see in the markings, next we will add another green one in here, and they're just going to be sprinkled throughout so we can get that highlighted effect. Now we've worked our way all the way to the top. This is the last green piece I'm going to add, and then the rest will be black. Now that the wig is actually constructed, we're going to get into some cutting and styling. So here I am just parting out the bangs. I know I want to have bangs with my style, so I'm just going to go ahead and part out the bangs and hot comb them down so they are out of the way and nice and slick down. Now I'm going in with a little bit of the jet black hair color because I want to have a skunk stripe in my bangs. So I'm just adding that little bit of color there, and we're going to go ahead and let that color saturate in. Now we're going to start cutting the hair to go ahead and get the shape that we want for the look that we are achieving. And as I'm cutting, I'm not really cutting any of the frontal hair. I'm just trying to make sure that I have all of the hair behind the frontal, all the rest of the hair, and just getting that all worked out. So here I just have some baby hair section out. The frontal was kind of thin because, as you can see from the beginning, this is a hair store wig. We got the frontal from the hair store, we got the hair from the hair store, everything came from the hair store. So the frontal is kind of thin, which isn't a problem due to the style that we're doing today. So I actually didn't have to do too much plucking as I normally would. But just to keep the hairs out of the way, keep any flyaways out of the way, you're going to go ahead and use your wax stick and hot comb all the hairs into place. So for now, I did just go ahead and braid the baby hairs out of the way, just to keep them down and out of the way until we get into cutting them and styling them. Now I'm getting into styling the actual frontal. I'm making my parts now because I'm going to do some braids and twists, doing a alternating pattern, braid, twist, braid, twist. So I'm just making sure that my part is nice and clean. I'm going through and plucking any hairs that are in the way, using the wax stick and the hot comb to make sure everything is in line and intact. And then we're going to go ahead and start styling. When styling on lace, product is very important. I want this hair to be molded and stay in place. So I'm using a Got2b glue gel, and then I'm going to spray it down with the spray to make sure that it's nice and firm and the hair is not going anywhere. Also, you see the nice clean parting. That's a major key as well. Now I'm just repeating what I did on the first side, on the other side. It is also very important to make sure that some of your hair from the lace is in place to cover your tracks. You want to make sure you have that parted out and hot combed down using your wax stick to make sure that hair does not move and it's going to stay in place to cover those tracks. So now I am just applying some product. We're going to go ahead and flat iron the hair to give it a little bump, give it that perfect bob swing. I have the top into 2 ponytails because that's what we're doing at the top. We're bringing it up into 2 ponytails. So I'm just going to go ahead and section out my hair and begin to flat iron. So now we're back at the top. So you're going to go ahead and take one of those ponytails. You're going to take about half of the hair and create a braid. You're going to leave the other half out, or maybe a little, maybe 2/3 into a braid and then 1/3 out. However you eyeball it, or however much hair you want to have out, spiking out in your ponytails. And you're just going to go ahead and take that braid and wrap it around, and that's going to give you a nice little cute ponytail spiky thing. Then I'm going in and cutting it to make sure that it can spike, to go ahead and take some of the length out of it. Now we're going to give it a little curl, a little hairspray, and a little tease. That's going to give it some character, okay? Teasing the hair, making it spiky, giving it that look that we're going for. And teasing is just back combing the hair. You want a hairspray, spray it, and just back comb to give it some texture. So now we're going to go ahead and add our baby hairs. We're going to take that braid out and go ahead and take our eyebrow razor and add those baby hairs. Then I'm going to take my mini flat iron and give them a little curl so they can lay how I want them to lay. Now we're going to go ahead and get into this bang area. We're going to go ahead and apply some product and make sure that it's nice and flat, making sure that all the hairs are in place so we can go ahead and cut that bang. If this wig was not for myself, I would typically leave the bangs maybe slightly longer just to give it room for the wearer. So, you know, if you wear glasses or however you like your bangs to lay, I know how short my hair needs to be. So this is actually perfect for me. I didn't have to measure it out or anything. I just did kind of eyeball it at this point. So just be careful with that. Sometimes when you're doing bangs, it's always better to start longer, and you can always go shorter, but we cannot make the hair grow back. So this is just the final look before we add some jewels and gems, give it some pizzazz and some life. This is just the finished look with the hair. I love how the up to you. This is your creativity. This is how you want to style it. I'm going for silver gems, so we're using some little butterfly gems, and I'm also using some safety pins. I'm using some safety pins because it's going to be for like that rock star vibe look, just adding some flavor and some life into the hair. And this is the finished look. I really love how this came out. Be sure to leave a like and a comment down below, and stay tuned for more videos. Bye.